I was going to say, is it because I'm wearing the shirt? I have a throbbing headache. I was on my way up here, and as some of you guys know, we have remodeled an old pole barn into our house. So there are beams in certain places. If you go to certain rooms, you got to duck just a tiny bit if you're 6 feet tall. If you're not 6 feet tall, you're probably going to be just fine. And me personally, I'm 6 feet tall. So I was hurrying to get here, and I was running from one room to the other, and I'm wearing a hat. So I didn't see the beam, and it beamed me right in the old dome ski, bro. So I have a throbbing headache. Get your minds out of the gutter when I say throbbing. I don't appreciate that. You know what we're going to be doing tonight? We're going to be having my brother Jason, the Alaskan Avenger, on here, and we're going to be doing super not weird heterosexual behaviors. That's what this is going to be. So don't let the shirt fool you. Don't let my throbbing headache fool you. We're going to be doing cool, okay, guy stuff. This is not going to be an OnlyFans or none of that type of nonsense. So, man, I hit my head so hard. It's so hard, bro. And my buddy is out there right now in the hallway, and I was mid-sentence talking to him, and I smashed my dome, and he heard me stop. He heard a loud bang, and then he heard me hit the floor. Like I've not been hit that hard by a man, bro, by no man. And I've been hit hard by men, and I dropped, and I was like, oh, it rang my whole bell, bro. And this was literally 3 minutes ago. And I jumped up and ran right in here because it was time to be on live. I don't want to be late for y'all. I don't like leaving y'all waiting. Y'all are my people. Throbbing head, brother. Really? Yes. My head is throb. Who said that? Hold on. Willie, yes, sir. So the Alaskan Avenger is going to be joining us here in just a couple minutes. Jumpsuit Pablo in the building. What is up, my brother? Good to see you. Y'all, we have YouTube legendary royalty in the house right now. Jumpsuit Pablo is here with us. Yo, we got some Kiosk Crew crossover madness. If y'all ain't following Jumpsuit Pablo, y'all really need to get with the business, bro. He has a voice smoother than velvet. You know what I'm saying? He's got just a tiny bit of rasp, but he's got a smooth voice, and he talks about true crime, and he spent about 10 years in prison for some robbery. He was a robber. And he's a really cool dude, man. He's really calm. I love his vibe, man. His vibe is cool. And I mean that, and like I said, we're on super not weird. We're on heterosexual behavior. I'm kind of glazing him. Sorry, Jump. I'm glazing you right now, but I just love the homie, bro. Charles Wilkerson III. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. My head is starting to feel a little bit less like I took a really painful whippet. You ever done whippets and your head goes womp, 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 but it feels good? Yeah, this is the exact opposite. It's womp, 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 but it feels real bad. So, like I said, Jason is going to be joining us momentarily. Trev, man, good to see you, bro. I know that you've been going through some stuff in the last couple days, bro. Anybody who wants to pray for Trev, he needs our prayers and our love right now, man. And ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, here is Jason. What's up, brother?
What's going down, brother? How are you?
Good. It's so good to see you.
You know what? I feel like I need to move my camera down so I'm not like the little midget beside you right now.
You know, I really wanted to tell you that when you were on the live with Roma. I wanted to tell you, bro, like you're looking kind of small compared to Sis, but you know, it was just such good conversation that I figured I'd just let it ride out, man.
Bro, we went for 3.5 hours, bro. 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. That's how you know you're hanging out with a real sister right there, because it was literally like chilling with family the whole time. She was awesome.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Jason did a live with Roma Army. If you're not following Roma, she's amazing people too. We've collabed for this community and for her community. She's been doing it for a long time, and what she does is she advocates for men, for men's mental health, for men's rights. She was the first girl on the internet, the first woman on the internet who was, advocating for men's rights. There's a lot of people who advocate for women's rights, and I think that's equally as important. You know, both Jason and I advocate for children and women's rights. So it was really cool to, be able to cross over with her. She's a Canadian, and we want to make sure that the people of Canada know that any smoke that's going on between our governments has nothing to do with us people, man. We all just caught in the crosshairs, dog. I want to give a quick shout out to Jacqueline Hoover, Wood Chipper Crew. I love you, sis. It's so good to have you here with us tonight. So, Jay, I wanted to give the people a little bit of an update because maybe there's people in my community who don't who are watching who don't know who you are, or I don't want to tell your story, but do you want to summarize that real quick and tell us where you're at today, man? Because we're so proud of you.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm that guy that you guys saw all over the place on pictures that went to prison for 23 years for assaulting child predators. I was able to do 10 years of that prison sentence, and then I got a 23-year prison sentence for that. And I was able to do 10 of those years and then get out on this ankle monitor. So I've been blessed to be out on the street the last just over 90 days total, based on exceptional rehabilitative progress. And yep, that's me. And so with the help of brother JD here, who came and put me on game, I've been able to start some little platforms, start building a pretty good community. I work a construction job during the daytime. I stay on top of my social media stuff after that. I've got this little Alaska hardcore recovery business. Again, shout out to JD. Good shit, bro. And I've been fortunate to do some one-on-ones. I actually maintain 2 or 3 clients on a rotating basis every week. And I've been really fortunate to help people with addiction and things that they're going through. And I sort of approach it kind of similarly to you through experience. And I give them experiential knowledge on how to get away from addictions and things like that. So that's where I sit right now, bro. I'm just grinding, working, jumping through the hoops as the DOC lays them down. I clear them. I've learned the past few months that the best way to appease the real boss in the room is, yes, sir, how high, sir? If that's what they like, that's what I do. So when it comes to the DOC, that's what I do. And honestly, I've seen them sort of shift as they've come to trust me and respect me and what I'm doing, man. They've just sort of opened little doors. And then the other thing really quick that is really important for me to point out is after I was released from prison, I've seen such an outpouring of love and support from people in this local community, from people in your community, JD. JD sent an ocean of you guys, all this wood chipper family, this wood chipper crew over to support me. And I thank each and every one of you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Like probably 40,000 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel came from JD's wood chipper crew over to support me. And I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And I have to use different language and I have to express myself in a different manner over where I'm at because of the rules of the game. But one of these years, don't trip. We're going to be riding together. It's going to be good.
So for those of you who don't know, Jason did have a moment where he went back to jail for a minute, and so he's amended some of his language, and he's really trying to comply with all of the terms of his conditional release because he is on house arrest. He's wearing an ankle bracelet right now, and I'm so proud of the way, because it's really hurtful to a man's pride, especially after being incarcerated for that long. Anybody, you get an anti-authority air about you a lot of the time, and the way that he's just done what he needs to do to be able to be out here, to be able to make a better impact on the streets, and to be able to honor his freedom and honor the opportunities that Alaska DOC has given him to be out here. I applaud him from the bottom of my heart. I do want to really quickly address this, man. Matt Kenton said, first live I've caught in a while, 110 days sober. And we're going to stop and clap for that, big dog. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But this is concerning to me because he said he was kicked out of an Applebee's for not taking off his Make Pedophiles Afraid Again hat. Bro, you're a soldier, bro. Thank you for not compromising and not taking it off. I've been waiting for anyone to say anything to me about that, bro. Like, I wear my stuff all the time, and I'm sorry that it happened to you. Nobody said anything to me yet. I'm not sure why. But bro, can we just collectively say fuck Applebee's right now?
We're not going to Applebee's.
Applebee's likes child predators, apparently. Love you, big dog. Lauren and Tom King said Jason is the real deal hardcore recovery angel. I agree 100%.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, JD, for reaching out to this man and showing him he is worthy and loved. Love to you both. Well, Lauren and Tom King, I'm going to just let you know that this man has become me and Jax's brother, and he is effortless to love. You cannot help but love Jason when you are in his sphere, when you're in his vicinity.
I
He
don't
is
know
such
about that.
he's a good human being. And yes, he has this thing where he thinks that he's more frustrating than he really is. You know, a lot of us, especially those of us who grew up with certain things in our childhood, we have problems seeing positive about us, but others will see it. And I just want to reassure you, Jason, you are effortless to love.
I
You
appreciate it.
are,
JD, what about the tooth? What about the tooth, bro? Do you
hey,
love the tooth?
the tooth is great, bro. The tooth is great. I love the tooth. You know, my friend Jumpsuit Pablo, who was just here recently, just got all of his teeth redid because he was missing
Yeah.
several, and they
Yeah.
did it for free for him to
That's what I'm
talk about
talking
it on.
about.
Yeah, so I can hook you up if you decide that you want to get that done. I can hook you up with him to figure that out. I'm sure that he could get you plugged in with that. But they
I would
take
love it.
all of them out and put them back in, which is what
Ugh.
Jelly Roll had done. And
Ugh.
when I was on tour with Jelly Roll, he actually had an abscess up inside underneath where they laid the new teeth. He said it was one of the most painful things he's ever had in his life. And he actually had to have a nurse on tour with him. They wanted him to quit the tour, but he refused to let people down.
He's a
So
soldier.
he did
Yeah.
every night and sang through pain
Yeah.
and never let it show. And he went every day on tour. He went out and reached out to people in prisons. And when I was with him, we went to a children's cancer ward.
Yeah.
He worked through the pain to not let people down.
Yeah.
And
You know what?
that's soldier shit.
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to say about that, man. I didn't get any Jelly Roll music while I was in the penitentiary. And so it was really interesting. The way that I said it when I got out was I was like, bro, I never fucked with your music at all. But once I saw who you are for real in real life, that's when I started respecting that, man. And it's really rare, and you're one of them as well, to see people that actually reach back behind them where they came from, where they went through, and he's 100% one of those all day.
Well, a lot of people might not know this, but when me and Jax flew out to Alaska to meet Jason when he had just gotten out of prison and to, do what we could to help him reacclimate into a different world because 10 years in prison, you don't really know what's going on out here. Jelly Roll took the time out of his day to FaceTime me so that he could talk specifically to Jason and give Jason some love and a little bit of advice from his heart about, helping him to reacclimate. That's the type of person that Jelly Roll is. So,
very kind.
One of his first days out, he got to talk to one of the biggest music artists in the world right now.
It was amazing. And I watched him put down about 4 scrambled eggs in under 15 seconds. And the man's on a diet.
Dog, yes.
The man's on a diet.
I got to real quick give a huge shout out to Brandy Wells. She said she bought some of her stickers and gave some to the guys at work who live at a halfway house. One stuck it on the window there. Brandy, yes, thank you so much. I actually had an opportunity to hand out some of my stickers to law enforcement officers the other day, and they loved them. They were so stoked. They were like, "Yeah, dog." So there are some law enforcement officers out there who have "Make Pedophiles Afraid Again" stickers. Tommy G, big love to you, big dog. So glad that you're here. And Jason, one of our mutual friends, Divine Spark, is here. Two of my faves. Thank you, gentlemen. We love you so much, sis.
Yeah.
Thank you for
She's
being
beautiful.
here with us.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
So I wanted to ask you your opinion, and I know that you need to be, we're talking about a legal matter here. So, be as careful as you need to be with this, though. But Idaho just passed a new law. In Idaho, this was unanimously passed, my brother.
Yeah.
Idaho unanimously passed a law saying that anybody who harms a child in that way that's under the age of 12 is now eligible for the death penalty.
Definitely. Yeah.
And on top of that, they put way stricter mandatory minimums for anyone that does that type of thing to a minor at all. So, if it also does stuff to cover for people who are 16, because I know a lot of people were, concerned about that and everything. But what is your opinion on this law? And there are also, just for case of reference, there are 5 other states that are pushing bills like this, and Louisiana and Florida already have them.
Yeah. The thing that amazes me is that it's 2025 and that isn't already nationwide. And I'll tell you this, I continue to tell people day after day, The simple solution to this problem is when kids can pay taxes and they can vote, guess what? All of a sudden, overnight, they will all matter to politicians immediately. Oh my God, you have a vote? We'll protect you right now. That's how that goes. In my
Yeah.
world, where I live, all legalities considered, one strike, you're done. Goodbye. That's how it should be. If you have some sort of internal desire to sexualize a child, death penalty, death penalty, death penalty. It's simple, it's direct, it's linear. I think all of us can agree on that. We love our kids. And I continue to tell people, and again, I have to be very careful what language I use.
Well, we're
But due
talking
to,
about legally. We're not
yeah,
talking about vigilante here. We're talking 100%
yeah,
legally through the
yeah,
proper channels of the courts and
yeah,
everything. So I think that that's the only reason I brought this up, because I don't
yeah,
want to get you in a sticky
yeah,
situation.
yeah. Well, and interestingly, I just did a little short yesterday because somebody sent me this brand new thing. Washington State considering putting ankle monitors on child sexual predators. And I thought to myself, I panned down to my ankle monitor and I'm like, weird. You guys are going to put them on them too, so you know where they're at all times? Brilliant. That sounds amazing. And that's not even the depth of what we should have, but certainly knowing where these things are at all times seems very basic and very linear to me. So what I will tell you is this: I advise everyone in my community, isolationism is the primary symptom of child abuse. So now that we've determined that, it's time to come together, get off your ass, and go vote. That's what you have to do.
I don't want to shit on the good thing that they're talking about keeping GPS tracking on creatures, but
Right.
I do want to say, fuck Washington State, because they just passed laws that cut the probation in half for child offenders that, like, you know what Chris Hansen does, where there's a bait child and it's not a real
Yeah.
child on the other end of the
Right.
phone, like what
Right.
I did with Chris Hansen when we went
Yeah.
to Alabama,
Yeah.
and like what Alex Rawson and People versus Preds do. I
Yeah.
love, by the way, Tim from PvP, big love and respect to you, man. um, they cut the time in half that they have to spend on probation and on the
Right.
registry, because it's not a real child on the end of the phone. And
Yeah.
I,
Right.
I think that it's disgusting that when we actually have some proactive law enforcement protecting children instead of reactive, they want to make it lesser penalties. Their
Right.
intentions were the same. They were
Right.
out there to hurt a kid.
100%. Well, and using that same thinking, then all of the massive drug stings, all of the massive setups, all of the massive everything, those should all get halftime too, right? Why we're specifically saying these ones that target kids get halftime, it just goes to tell you, and I continue to tell people this is a top-down, bottom-up situation. And I spent an hour on the phone with a guy in Massachusetts yesterday. And bro, they are forming citizen groups, community groups from the bottom up. Everybody is sick of this. Everybody is tired of it. And it's great. It's good. We all need to come together. It's super good. And it's happening. So,
Yeah, well, and so look, man, we've got Louisiana, we've got Florida, we've got Idaho. There are 5 other states gearing up to vote on this same type of law. And one of my personal favorite representatives from the state of Florida, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who, by the way, follows me on Insta. We're mutuals on Insta. She
as
put a
well, she too.
federal she put a federal law into play. She's a gangster,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
She's served in the armed forces. I don't know for sure if she saw combat or not. She was on the cover of Maxim magazine. Like,
Yeah.
she's accomplished a lot, and one of her main goals is to protect kids. She's also the person that Trump appointed the head of the task force of releasing government secrets. So she was supposed to be on a task force that was going to release the Epstein shits and the MLK and the JFK shits. And I'm not sure what happened, because he did appoint her to that. And now it seems like Pam Bondi's fielding it. Real quick, I want
Yeah.
to give a huge shout out to Sarah Beamer, our sister. I know you both hear this often, but you guys are an inspiration to many people. Much love and one light. Yo, we love you, sis. We
Love you.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
And another sister of ours, Laura Hancock. Love you both. Jason, what are your thoughts on prison reform? I'd love to hear your perspective with your unique story.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this. I have one solid issue that I will push when it comes to prison reform, and that is during my decade in prison, I performed an informal social survey of the inmates I served time with. And I will tell you this, the number one underlying cause of all crimes, I don't care if it's bank robbery, domestic violence, drug addiction, distribution, every single one, 85 to 90%, all come from unresolved childhood abuse and trauma. And interestingly, the system that I'm in refused to allow me to access any therapy whatsoever during the time I was present. And the interesting part about that is if you're a child predator and you're in the system I'm in, you can go down the tier, get a little 18-month, 12-month program, and bounce out of the prison. Goodbye, you're out in the streets again. If you have unresolved childhood trauma and abuse and complex PTSD, guess what? No program, no addressing it. The only thing they address is secondary issues. So there's a whole pantheon of prison reform issues out there. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to reduce crime in your community and you want dudes to get out of prison healed, you have to address unresolved childhood trauma. And you need to make sure your state's DOC facilitates that. Because my state's DOC, I'm telling you, security at the prison I was at blocked the phone number for the therapist that somebody paid for. Every single Friday, she would have to email a new Google phone number to my sister. And by the time we were done with 1 hour of teletherapy, blocked, blocked, blocked. And that shit has to change.
I would like to just echo that sentiment. I had the epiphany at one point when I was in prison that when I really looked at it, all the gang members, all the people that, were there from the moderate crimes to the most severe crimes, we were all traumatized children trying to act tough, trying to act hard. You know what I'm saying? Because, we've been fucked up as kids, bro. So I think that's really important. And I'm actually going to be speaking at the Arkansas Sheriff's Association. They have a conference every year. I'm going to be speaking to every sheriff for every county in the state of Arkansas this year, trying to advocate for getting substance abuse treatment in lieu of long prison sentences that will be placed into every county jail in the state of Arkansas.
Beautiful.
And one of those things that I'm going to be talking to them adamantly about is the childhood trauma aspect. Now, Twitch, because fuck you, said, "Sup, JD, was having dinner with Gams again when I saw the notice of the live. She still smiles when she thinks about your birthday shout out. And Jason, thank you again for being the hero you are." Yo, Twitch, we love you. And Gams, we love you so much. You guys are family and we love you. And I know it's not your birthday anymore, so happy unbirthday, Gams. BC girl said, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you.
BC girl said child offenders need to be punished harshly. And moreover than just being punished, they need to be removed from a situation where they can ever have access to hurt another child again. Period and point blank. Even if you think that, oh, well, maybe they were a victim and maybe they have mental health issues. All of those arguments that people use are fucking invalid compared to the safety of other children. Every single one of them is a risk to other children if they reoffend. It's not like somebody who's, an addict, and if they reoffend, they're going to go and they might overdose. If one of these people reoffends, they give a child a fucking life sentence, dog.
Yeah,
it's a life sentence.
Yeah, I was going to say, day before yesterday, I had the opportunity to do Travis has the interview to the incarcerated, and it goes out to 1,100 prisons nationwide on their tablets. And we spent an hour, and I was able to educate these prisoners all over in other prisons. And I'm telling you right now, it's so important what you're doing. And every time I get the opportunity, I do it too. You got to reach back in there and tell these guys because they just don't know. Most of them, I don't know why I'm getting high. I didn't. I don't know why I'm breaking the law. I didn't. And the reason why is because when you get beaten with 2x4s and molested, it plants this seed in your mind. You're worthless, bro. Guess why I never took care of my teeth, bro? Because I'm worthless. Guess why I didn't care about my credit score? Because I'm worthless. Guess why I didn't give a shit about the law? Because I'm worthless. And none of that was conscious. That's all subconscious. And it's put in your mind by somebody that did it to you. And the thing is, it's really important for people to realize you didn't plant that seed in your mind, but it is your responsibility to see that it's there and do something different about it later. And that's what I'm doing now.
Well, I want to read this. This is interesting. Nicholas, and thank you so much, Nicholas, said, being a man who dealt with rape as a kid, I felt like I was a failure and smoked weed to get over it. I'm now sober and help people with emotional trauma, which goes exactly aligned with what our purpose is in life and what happened to us as kids. Nicholas, you are a brother, bro, and
Yep.
we love you so much.
Yep.
Surfboard said, hey, JD, Jason and Jax, much love from Cocoa Beach. Much love to you, Surf.
Surfboard.
We appreciate you, big
Love
dog.
you.
Brandy Wells said, I'm trying to write a book about the post apocalyptic world where the main character is unable to speak, who seeks revenge. I call it Tales of the Outlands, the man with no voice. And it's Brady. Sorry, Brady. Brady, I'm sorry. I do that to you every time, homeboy. I'm so sorry, Brady. Thank you so much for being patient with me. And please let me know when you get that book out because I want to buy a copy. I want to
Yes.
support what you're doing. I love you, homie. Tanya said, just wanted to say JD may have sent a lot of us to you, Jason, but we stuck around because we can relate to you and find value in what you have to say. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that is the God's honest truth, man.
Appreciate it.
Ryan,
Appreciate it.
Ryan Stately said, I am recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I watched my mom die, murdered. I'm so sorry, homie. My fiance's mom and GOA. I don't know what that means. Maybe that was supposed to be grandpa. Put it in my head that I'd unalive my fiance and son. I got help for that, man, and it messed me up, bro. I'm so glad that you sought help because as men, there's so much in the way of men reaching out and getting the absolute help that we need. Like people will stigmatize men for reaching out and getting the help you need. And there's no shame in reaching out to get help, bro. There's
Yeah. And the other,
absolutely not.
yeah.
It took a lot of therapy for me to be as at peace in myself, in my heart, in my spirit, in my mind that I have today. And it was some of the most valuable investments that I ever made was investments in myself. So if you feel like you've got issues, and I know that all of us do, please, if you have resources to be able to reach out and get help, do that. Invest in yourself because I promise you, every single person watching, you are worth investing in. Every
Yeah.
one of you is worth investing in. Your best self is worth investing in.
The other thing too is your diagnosis does not define you. Your diagnosis just validates you went through some trauma. And I'm telling you that right now. Remember that. Your diagnosis does not define you, and don't let it be something that weighs you down, man. It's just valid. It's a scar, is what it is. That's what that diagnosis is.
And Jason and I are both people who spend our lives classically undervaluing ourselves, feeling worthless, feeling disconnected. Um, your past doesn't define you. What other people think of you doesn't define you. What you have in your fucking bank account does not define you. Your worth is intrinsic to who you are as a human being, the way that you interact with the world, the way that you treat other people. You are of value just exactly the way that you are.
Yep.
Extreme value. And the world, you have a story. Each and every one of you has a story. It may not be as grimy or gritty as me or Jason's, but it can reach. You have no idea how many other people, and you have no idea how many lives you might save just by telling your story because people can relate to you.
That's exactly right.
The Southern Caesar said, found JD in a short and fell in love with his content. And just last week, subbed to the Alaskan Avenger. Love your content as well. Keep up the great work. Much love. Southern Caesar, we love you,
Love you,
homeboy.
bro. Appreciate it.
Max Star said, love you guys. Gratitude expressed for all of the amazing work you do. Loved and appreciated. Max Star, we're so glad to have you here as a part of our family, brother. Thank you for
Welcome.
being here. Frank the
Welcome.
Tank, you're a gentleman and a scholar as well as a hero, Alaskan Avenger. You're cool too, JD. That shit's facts, though, Frank. That shit's facts.
Finally, I got mine.
Jason's a fucking poet and an author too, to be real with you.
Now
He's a
you're
handsome
embarrassing
devil
me.
as well.
Now you're embarrassing me.
Ricky Sickle said, much love from Nikiski,
Alaska.
Nikiski, Alaska. Keep
I
up the
know.
good work. Love you guys. We love you too, Ricky. Thank
yeah,
you so
love you,
much.
bro.
I learned a new place today.
Yeah.
Who Dat said, you two are some of my favorite channels. Welcome, Who Dat. You're a part of this community and you're loved here, homeboy. Appreciate
right.
you. And Channel Stupendous said, the dude abides. Heard. I missed that rug. It really tied the room together. Backwoods Templar, what's up? I grew up as a drug dealer's kid. I was a witness to a lot of crap. I try to use my experience to try to help those that I can. If you got clean, I'm proud of you.
Straight up. Straight up. It's that experiential knowledge that really makes the difference, I'm telling you.
It is. It is. And, Backwoods, your story is slightly different from mine and Jason's, but there are thousands and thousands of people who can relate to your story, and you can reach them in a way that someone like me and Jason never could, man. That's what I was trying to say to you guys before. Every single one of you has a story that is valuable, that is priceless, that can help others. And I want you to know how much I love and appreciate you all, man. Christy said, love to both of you from Arkansas. Sis.
Hi, Christy.
That's what's up. And Jay, I just want to say, as soon as I have the availability, which really just depends on when you can get, hopefully we don't see you have to do your whole sentence on house arrest, and we can get you off probation early, because I feel like that's in the cards, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the way that the state of Alaska has worked it out is I owe these people $17,400 or something for medical bills for people, a person, whatever, that I assaulted. So the way the state of Alaska works is, as soon as you pay off your restitution, you can apply for early release from your EM or your parole or whatever. So what you guys have been seeing me doing on the regular is putting in that groundwork, just like JD taught me, man. Get your 10,000 hours in, grind time, don't miss, get your work in. And you notice I never miss, bro. I'm on it every single day, every single day. So I figure 12 months is what I'm looking at, 12 months of grind time. And then perhaps I can pay that restitution off, and then we can apply for early release which is like a commutation of the sentence. Because I feel like once I've been out here for 12 months and I pay them the money that I owe for my crimes, then I will have demonstrated that they can trust me. I'm not some vicious hunting monster or something like that, and that's why on the daily, I'm looking for the right opportunities. And I'm telling you, like, bro, again, per your sage advice, I turn down a lot of stuff all the time. But I look for the ones that demonstrate my heart. And those are the ones that I've been grabbing onto and doing, so I can demonstrate to these people who I actually am and what I actually am all about at this stage of my life.
Well, and as soon as we get you there, bro, as soon as you accomplish that hurdle, and that's your main thing holding you back, we all know, I will immediately start getting you into places where you can go back in and reach back. We'll get you into prisons, we'll get you into jails, we'll get you into treatment centers. Maybe me and you and Struggle Jennings and Jelly Roll can go and do some of these things. Struggle Jennings is going to be going to the Sheriff's Association with me. For anybody who doesn't know who Struggle Jennings is, he is an amazing musical artist. He's Waylon Jennings' grandson, and he did 5 years for one of the largest cocaine busts in Nashville's history.
Who doesn't know who Struggle Jennings is? Come on, man.
If you're not subscribed to Struggle, man, go check him out. He has 4 albums with Jelly Roll. They've been friends for about 20 years, man. George Kuh said, 24 years in the United States Marine Corps, trying to get help for PTSD, cannot find help, at wit's end. Brother, I want to stop this whole thing real quick, and I want to address this, man. First off, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. I'm sorry that our government has failed you in taking care of you when you got back here, man. I don't know what area you're in, so I don't know if I know of resources in your area. But as somebody who has complex PTSD, CPTSD, I just want to let you know that you're not fucking alone in that. I know how hard it is. I'm also completely unmedicated for it because they want to give me narcotics. And I value my recovery too much to put myself in that situation. Things that have worked for me is really working to protect my peace. I always have to have a place that's my sanctuary. Even if I'm not there, knowing that I have a sanctuary somehow makes me feel safer in my head.
So true.
Finding little tools that work for me personally. There's the senses tool when you're starting to feel triggered and you're starting to get overwhelmed and you feel that anxiety and that panic welling up. Identifying things you can see in the room, whether that just be different colors, different smells, different tastes, using your senses can take you out of that panic state of mind. I always have a ring with me, and I will literally, you'll catch me if I'm about to have a panic attack, you'll catch me doing something like spinning it or just feeling it, because just sensing, using my sense of feel and doing something with the texture of a ring will
Yep.
pull me into a safer place, bro.
Yep.
Jason,
Yep.
do you have any tips for
Yeah,
PTSD?
I was going to tell you, you can look around me right now and you'll see, look around this room. I have painted my entire home in earth tones. And I've done that for that exact reason that JG just stated. My bedroom is dark brown walls. My entire home is earth tones. And the reason why is because after living in chaos and noise and violence and blood and everything for so long, I wanted a place that was restful, peaceful. And I'm telling you, what he just said is true. When I'm out there and I'm stressed out, I got this and that and the other, and I got to do it, whatever, and it all starts piling in on me, having this place that I come back to is so important to me. And then the other thing I wanted to point out real quick, occasionally, more than occasionally, I get messages from people, bro, how come you got skulls all over, bro? Are you creepy? Are you weird? No. The reason why is because number one, it reminds me to be mindful in all of my decisions. That is what guards your mind, is your skull. And number two, it reminds me that this life is very, very short, and I want to leave behind a positive legacy. And I know I'm almost half 100 in June, half 100. I have a limited amount of time to really leave a positive legacy. And I don't mean that dude that smashed out monsters a few times. I mean something really positive and meaningful that's actually impactful. So that's the reason why I've surrounded myself with certain imagery. And it helps me stay sane, man. And it helps me stay level. And it works. And whatever works for you works, bro. Don't let anybody tell you that what works for you is not working. If it works for
Facts.
you, it works.
So it's interesting because Joseph Thompson, our good friend, just said last year I was diagnosed with acute PTSD because of my childhood abuse. Felt, bro, by the
Me
hands
too.
of my bio mother's second husband. I refuse to ever forgive that monster, but that won't control me anymore. Facts,
Perfect.
bro. That's
Perfect.
beautiful, man.
Yep.
As long as you were able to work past it in your mind
Yep.
and not have it hold a place in you anymore, bro, you've done healing on a level that most people
Yep.
cannot achieve on
Yep.
their own. It takes
Yep.
years of therapy. It took me a lot of therapy to
Yeah.
get to that place. So I applaud you, brother.
Yeah.
And Sarah Beamer asked, Jason, how can the fam help you achieve your financial goal to be able to get off of?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really awesome question. And the thing is, I'm not quite there yet. And I'm to the place where we're still creating this family. Everybody is still building. So, really, what I have in mind coming up, if people out there choose to, maybe we'll do like a GoFundMe or something that is towards that amount that I owe in restitution. Because interestingly, in my convictions, in my case, what's holding me back, it's not stolen items. It's not broken items. It's not restitution for shit that I put in my pocket or whatever. It's literally medical bills from a child predator that I assaulted, that I owe money for. And interestingly, these bills all pertain to somebody who is no longer with us. So that's kind of the ironic part about it, is I'm paying bills, or I owe a bill towards someone that has now passed away. So that part is sort of not relevant. But you know what? I'll tell you what. Once I'm sure that it's 100% legit and it's 100% straightforward, and everybody's money will go directly to that, and I can create that in a real straightforward and responsible way, then I'll come out with it. And some of that is due to I have a hard time asking people for stuff. It's not something that I'm used to. It's not something that I usually do. I don't do it on my channel. So when the time comes and it's really proper and it's really correct, then I'll put it out there and we'll all work together and get that knocked off and get this thing off my ankle.
Well, and you know, I'll do the first rack right off top, bro. So
Thank
just
you, bro.
consider it 16 that you need to deal with, bro.
Thank
I
you.
got you
I
on that.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
So this is amazing and incredible, and I love how this community works. Josh Bearded Spartan Taylor said that brother veteran can reach out to me, know a few resources to help our people out. Never alone, brother.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
that
you.
so much, bro. The veterans in
Thank
our
you.
community, I fucking thank you for being here, and I thank
Yep.
you for the way
That's
that you
awesome.
always look out for each other, man. I was talking to two of my favorite veterans today, actually three. My dad, Nick, the fat electrician, and donut operator. Some of you guys might know them from the Unsubscribed podcast. I actually was hitting them up today. I had an issue and needed a little bit of advice, man. It's important to have brothers to lean on, man. Jason
100%.
is a brother that I lean on anytime I've got some
100%.
stuff. I talked to him about the same issue a day before I talked to them about it. So, you
I
know,
don't
we
know.
all.
Seems like I'm always asking you about shit, but maybe once in a while.
It's a two-way street, bro, for sure. And then Brady Wells, I got it right that time, homie. I got it right. I don't always screw it up. Said, I thought about joining the United States Marine Corps after high school, but asthma kept me out. Looking at how the government treats its soldiers, I think I dodged a bullet. And I'm just gonna say that I'm mad ashamed of how our country treats our heroes. I'm mad ashamed of that. Like I am a patriotic dude. I love our country, but I have mad problems with our government, bro. And one of my main things is that, you know, we are sending money overseas while we have fucking homeless veterans. We are sending money overseas for other places' children while we have hungry fucking children right here. They're taking money out of our pockets and keeping us impoverished, and they're sending money to other places, and we're not taking care of our shit at home, bro. There's people in North Carolina that are still without homes. There's people in Florida from the hurricane that are months later still without fucking homes, man. There's people in California who need help, bro.
And I was going to say, that's one of the reasons why when I had to switch up everything in my world, I started telling people, simple is genius, simple is genius. And some of the things that just came out of your mouth, they're so simple, but they're genius. There is no reason we should be spending all of this bread everywhere else when people that have given us these freedoms are suffering. And simple solutions, man. And hopefully we got a dude in office that is going to start cracking some of these down. And I know this is an imperfect person and a whole bunch of people don't like him, but he does have some simple ideas that, let's hope, Elon Musk might come through. Let's hope some of these simple ideas actually take hold.
Well, here's my thing, bro, is that I'm totally down to help other countries in need. As soon as two things happen, our people are fucking straight.
Yep.
All of them. All of them. All of our people are straight. We don't have a homelessness epidemic. We don't have veterans that are on the streets. We don't have kids that are going fucking to bed hungry at night. And two, we don't have a national debt. We have no fucking business continuing to borrow money out of our kids' futures to give it to other countries. I'm sorry. I empathize with y'all. But we're a fucking mess over here, bro. And our government has taken way too many liberties with our fucking money and our children's futures. You're not just fucking with our bread. You're fucking with my kids' ability to have a fucking future, dog, and I'm not with the shits.
Well, and interestingly, the majority of the money that we borrow is from the same country that's manufacturing the precursors that are poisoning and murdering a bunch of kids in our country. It's absolutely bizarre. And I continue to hit and hit and hit on these fentanyl stories because it's hella simple. China makes the precursors, Mexico has the super labs, and our government allows the shit to flood into the country, and they continue to do so. And when that stops, and we borrow money from the Chinese while they're killing us, it's insane.
So Ryan Stately said he just deposited his check to write more. Thank you both, and I really love the both of you guys, man. I would overthink, and it got me. It got to me. I'd sleep with my gun. The seed was planted, and I prayed and cried. I also got PTSD. One love, man. Ryan, let me just tell you, like, I'm used to, like, I used to sleep with the shank under the pillow in prison, but I grew up with my pops sleeping with a gun under his mattress. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a big. He had PTSD from Vietnam. You know, and PTSD can affect people in ways like that. Just don't ever let yourself think that it has anything to do with your worth as a human being, as a man, as a soul, bro. Like, you are so loved and you are so appreciated. And then he continued saying, I felt like a failure in my fiance's eyes. Her grandpa and mom don't like me. She doesn't see it. It's okay as long as my woman loves me. I appreciate you both. Thank you so much for this. Hey, look, man, we love you, and clearly you have a good woman that stands by you and supports you. Not everybody's going to see who you are at first, and that gives you all the air and opportunity to prove them motherfuckers wrong, dog.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Also, you're not alone. You know how many in-laws can't stand the boyfriend It's all good, bro. You're gonna pull through. You're gonna make it. I promise.
That's facts. The profiler said, "Hey JD, if anyone needs help in your chat with PTSD who can't afford help, I am able to assist. Please reach out. I'm in Australia, but I'm able to assist. Cheers. I'm a forensic psychologist." You guys, the profiler right here, this orange super, is an amazing human being who has just offered to help if you are struggling with your PTSD and can't afford mental health services. So when I was in early recovery, I couldn't afford mental health services, but I knew it was a huge problem for me, and I was able to figure it out by the skin of my teeth, bro.
Yeah.
I really had to. I was working in a bar in early recovery, which was dangerous for me, so that I could afford to go to fucking counseling, bro. So one thing that I did was I created a nonprofit in Daytona Beach called No More Dead Friends, and all we did was raise funds to be able to send people to be able to get counseling. And we grouped with some counselors who did 50% off of their normal rates to help people in early recovery get mental health services, man. So situations like this is people helping change other people's lives. Thank you so much, Profiler. We love you.
And I was going to say real quick, shout out to Jack Lawrence, who has a massive podcast in Australia, because it was his group, 5150, that came out, reached out, and paid for my therapy while I was in prison, bro. And I got much love for the people in Australia. I have a massive fan base there. These are good people, man. And he was the first guy that reached out to me while I was in prison. And he was like, bro, I want to pay for your PTSD therapy. I'm not even kidding you, man. It was like $1,300 a month for an hour on the phone once a week. And this guy put the money on the table. And that was the first time in my life I had encountered any therapy at all whatsoever. And it was literally the catalyst. That was the first notion I had that other people in the world actually cared enough to put their money on the table, because money is time, bro. And that's how you spell love, Time. When someone is willing to spend their time with you or give you their time, that's love. And so that will happen. And that just happened right here. So shout out to Australia, man. I love you guys.
Hey, Ragnar Adventures just donated $20 and said, "Hey, send this to kids who need it." Ragnar Adventures, I work with people in my local community that specifically work with kids who have parents that are still struggling in substance abuse or are in early recovery. And I will make sure that we do something. I'm going to match it and, do something for some kids, man. We just recently did a toy drive for that same cause. Those kids, a lot of them were not going to have Christmases, so we did a toy drive here in Eugene, Oregon, and not only just people from our local community, but people literally sent stuff in from Amazon. One of my really good friends and my tattoo artist allowed us to use his tattoo shop as our space where we collected toys for kids. So our community really came together, and we're able to give Christmas to a little over 400 kids this year, man, who otherwise would not have had it, man. So I'll make sure that goes to a good place. You guys, Jason has a live tonight, and I told him I wouldn't keep him on for the whole time so that he could get set up. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to be jumping into Jason's live. So if you guys want to join me as soon as we're done here in Jason's live, I'm going to be over there in the chat. But Jason, I want to let you go so you have time to get ready. Thank you so much for your time for this community tonight. We love you.
Yeah, and I want to say love to this whole wood chipper crew, everybody over here on JD's family, man. You guys have done nothing but love and support me the whole way, and I really appreciate all you guys. And of course, love to you, JD, and Jax. I love you. I don't know if you can hear me, sis, but I love you.
She's watching downstairs, and she's saying, "I love you." I guarantee you.
Okay, good. Well, this is a big hug for Jax. This is not for you, bro. It's for Jax. Okay, don't punch me. So,
all right. So anyway, I'm going to still be on, but we're going to let Jason get set up for his live because he's got a phenomenal live plan tonight. And I'll remind you guys at the end of my chat again. Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate you, brother. I'll
love
see
you, bro.
All right, man.
Christy Mama said, "Love and respect to JD and Jason. Good to see you both. Thank you so much for being here, sis. We love you." Ryan Stately said, "I'm a residential recovery aide. I work with addicts. I love what you do. Glad that you're still breathing. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to lithium carbonate, which was my happy pill. I will get it done, guys." Yo, We need more residential recovery aids. We need more residential recovery houses, bro. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Like literally, it was a sober house that saved my life when I needed it. And I ended up being deeply involved with that place and another place. I worked, you know, in many different positions, all the way from, the dude who watches dudes piss up to being, the lead manager, to being a court liaison who would go in and speak in court on behalf of clients that had legal entanglements, like I did myself, um, you know, to being the one-on-one counselor. So those places are super important, and we need those places, man. Thank you for what you do. Trinity Cook said mental health services shouldn't cost someone's paycheck. One light. And Trinity, you are 100% right. We need an easier availability. And the thing is that I think a lot of people, when they think of mental health services, now there are times when you have to refer someone to a higher level of care because they might need a legitimate diagnosis that requires some sort of medication, or they might need medication that requires a legitimate diagnosis. But a lot of what we're doing and seeing these days is the effectiveness of peer-to-peer services. So, peer-to-peer services is somebody who's like, has the same struggle. It's the same thing in addiction, and they've been trained to be able to assist in that. I'm a peer support specialist for mental health, for substance abuse, for people who've endured childhood sexual trauma. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Stately, yes, let's join Jason's live too. Hell yeah, man. I know I'm going to be over there in the chat hanging out, watching Jay do his thing, man. It was super cool to have him here. We don't have guests a lot, but I always love checking in with my brother, man. I feel like if people like me, there's a really good chance that they're going to like Jason too, because we've kind of got a lot of really similar views and we've been through some of the same type of stuff. He definitely had a more extreme situation than I did. But it's always great to have him here. Tanya, we love you. I'll see you over in Jason's live, man. I really appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, this community has changed my life. This community has changed Jax's life. Just knowing that there's so many people out there who feel the same type of way or who feel differently and show me perspective and educate me on things, man. Like I had a long conversation in the comments the other day with somebody who completely disagreed with me. And by the end of the conversation, they had shown me respectfully that I was in the wrong. And it changed my viewpoint on the world in a very unique and intrinsic way that was super important. I also released a video lately about ADX Florence, and there was a dude who had a lot of prison experience and more federal prison experience than me, who made a video respectfully giving his opinion, which differed from mine. And I see the wisdom in what he was saying. I got educated on some stuff, man. So the fact that you guys contribute so much to my life, by watching. The supers are absolutely incredible. That you have no idea how much that helps keep us going here. But just your perspectives and the way that you educate me respectfully. When people educate me unrespectfully, it's harder for me to get. When somebody, if you're wrong about somebody, or about something, and somebody goes, "Hey, fuck you, you're fucking stupid," you're not gonna hear what they have to say. But when somebody goes, "Hey, man, actually what's really going on here," and then they explain it respectfully, that's how we change the world. By changing people's opinions, by educating people in small ways, man. And it's all about approach. So, I just thank you guys because you guys so often change the world for me. You guys have changed my world. You guys have changed Jax's world. So thank you guys so much. I really genuinely appreciate everything that you guys have done. Dominar, what's up, buddy? Recovering quote: success is not final. Failure is not final. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. Dude, that is amazing because I failed so many times at finding recovery. Bro, I cannot tell you how much I wanted to change, how much I wanted to be sober, how much I just wanted to be a normal fucking human being. And it ate me up because I knew that the things that I was doing were wrong, dude. And my conscience was so numb from doing the wrong shit to be able to keep myself going and to be able to, keep the substances in me that would numb the pain and the feelings that I wasn't ready to face. And finally, what changed it for me? I'd just like to give a big shout out to Break the Cycle in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'd been to multiple treatment centers, like probably been to 7 different treatment centers. And one day I walked into this place and it was the first time I didn't feel judged walking in the door. The lady behind the counter was an absolute sweetheart. I love you, Danielle. Thank you so much. And she said, "Man, you look like you're having a hard day. Are you okay? Can I get you anything? Do you need a water? Do you need a snack? Just know you're in a safe place." And I'd never been treated like that in a treatment center before. Like it was always kind of like, oh, here's this piece of shit, you know? They had a different approach. They were loving, they were kind. And then I got to meet my first counselor there. Alicia, I will love you till my very last fucking breath, sis. Alicia took me back and I'm trying to put on a tough face, I'm like, yeah, I'm facing this and this and this, and I'm hardcore. I've been to prison. This woman disarmed me so quickly just by being kind and loving. Within 5 minutes, I was sobbing. This woman said something to me that changed my life, and it changed the way that I see the world, and it changed the way that I look at other people, because I had no ability to love myself. I had no self-worth and no self-esteem. I did not value myself at all. This woman looked me in the eyes and said, "Hey, I know that it's hard right now, and I know that you're struggling to love yourself, but we are going to love you until you can love yourself. And I promise you, honey, you're going to get there." And I just never had anybody say that shit to me before, bro. And it broke me. Like literally, I'm welling up a little bit thinking about that moment that this lady changed my whole life and showed me what recovery really is. Recovery is connection. Recovery is love. Recovery is empathy and kindness. And I was so used to brutality and abuse and people trying to deceive and manipulate and get over on each other, all this street shit, acting tough, being hard, being hood. This woman just disarmed me with love. And that's something that I found through recovery. And she did love me until I was able to love myself. And me and her are still friends. And she still loves me. And I love her. And today I've been able to find self love. And it's a struggle, it's a daily process. There are some days I love myself a whole lot less. And some days that I'm able to love myself a little bit more. But God, is it a blessing to be able to love yourself, y'all. And I want that for each and every one of you. Munchie said, "Hey, JD, love you, buddy. By the way, could you tell us what you know about female predators in prison? Do they get shanked too? It would be fair." So, Munchies, I love you, homie. And that's an awesome question. So I've never been, that's a lie. I have been in a woman's prison. So the intake in Oregon where all men go is Coffee Creek. That's also the woman's facility, but they keep you segregated so they don't get pregnant. But from what I understand in talking to a lot of women who have been to prison, because that's a question that I ask every time because I'm fascinated by it, they don't get the abuse and the violence as much as they get ostracized. The people that are more hated in women's prisons are the child killers. The child sexual predators, they just don't fuck with them. And it's a very social system in there. Women in women's prisons start little families. There'll be the brother and the mom and the dad. It's an interesting dynamic that they have in there. It's not at all like men's prisons where you just have fucking gangs and they're really violent. So they'll just get ostracized and like literally nobody fucks with you. And that's really more what happens in there. And you're going to see a lot more, instead of like bush lurking tree rapists and fucking diesel powered fucking thunder chomos like you have in men's prisons, you have people that are like teachers that are molesting kids. And it's no less damaging to the children. But yeah, they don't get as violent of treatment. And Ryan Stately said, here in Red Lake Reservation, it ain't mean. We are there for them. We clock in because they matter. At first, yeah, good check. At first, you good check. I changed and love my job. It's not about the money. I have a lot of empathy. I was there once. My dog, trust and believe. Nobody who is in recovery, working in recovery, is working in recovery for the money, especially on a residential, a residential treatment or sober house. I forget exactly how you referred to it. Please forgive me for not remembering, but sober houses, You know, the only people who are making money, like real money in working in treatment, are people who have big treatment centers that bill insurance or get millionaire clients and shit, bro. It's a labor of the heart. I made $300 a week for like 2 or 3 years working in recovery 5 days a week, man. And my rent was 1,200 bucks a month. I had to do hard manual labor to supplement my income so I could continue to do what made my heart happy. But it paid in emotional and spiritual riches, man. That's where you get your reward, was just by knowing that you're helping others, man. Look, you guys, I don't want to take away from what Jason has going on. He's jumping on a live in like 7, 6, 5 seconds. So thank you for coming out tonight. I love each and every one of you guys, man. Let's all go over to Jason's live. It's the Alaskan Avenger channel for those who don't know. Till the next one, y'all. One love. Thank you so much. Be good or be good at it.